Have you ever thought how powerful a selfie could be? A simple click, a moment captured, shared with the world. But what if I told you that a single selfie could change a life, could save a life? Every day we hear stories that shake us to our core, stories that make us question the world we live in. One such story is the disturbingly common yet often unseen danger of child abuse. It lurks in the shadows, hidden behind the facade of normalcy, affecting countless children across the globe. But today, we're not just talking about statistics, we're talking about real people, real lives. We're talking about a young girl named Emma. Imagine Emma, a vibrant, bubbly girl, full of life and potential. She lives in a suburban neighborhood, goes to a local school, has friends, loves art, and like many young girls, she loves taking selfies. On the surface, it seems like Emma leads a normal life, like any other child her age. Her home, a 2-story, white picket fenced house, could be pictured in any children's storybook. Her parents, hardworking individuals, always seem to be involved in the community, always smiling, always friendly. From the outside looking in, it's the epitome of a happy, loving family. But as we all know, appearances can be deceiving. The picture-perfect exterior often hides the harsh reality of what's happening inside. Emma's world, her reality, was far from picture-perfect. Her smiles were not always genuine, her laughter often forced. Her selfies, a cry for help, hidden in plain sight. Her home was not a safe haven, but a prison. Her parents, not protectors, but perpetrators. Yes, the unseen danger was lurking in the very place she should have felt safest. So we ask again, have you ever thought how powerful a selfie could be? As we delve deeper into Emma's story, remember this question. But behind closed doors, the reality was far from normal. What if the only safe place you know is not safe anymore? Imagine being a young girl named Emma, a bright soul full of life, but whose world is dimmed by an abusive stepfather, a man who should be a source of protection and guidance, but instead is a looming shadow of fear and torment. Emma's mother was her rock, her beacon in the storm. But when the storm was her home, her mother turned a blind eye. She chose not to believe Emma's cries for help, dismissing them as the exaggerated tales of a dramatic teenager. A stepfather couldn't possibly be a monster, could he? Emma's heart, once brimming with joy and laughter, was now a vessel of despair. She felt trapped within the four walls of her own home, a prisoner in her own life. Each day was a battle, a struggle for survival. The place that was meant to be her sanctuary had become her battleground. She yearned for someone to listen, to believe her. The loneliness was overwhelming, the desperation suffocating. She was a vessel lost in a stormy sea, adrift and alone. The world outside was oblivious to her silent cries, her muted screams echoing only within the confines of her room. Helplessness gnawed at her soul. She felt like a bird whose wings had been clipped, unable to fly away from the cage that was her life. She was sinking deeper and deeper into an abyss of despair, her hopes fading with every passing day. But amidst this darkness, a glimmer of hope sparked in Emma's heart. She had one ally, one companion who listened without judgment, believed without question. This ally didn't dismiss her fears, didn't ignore her cries. This ally was an inanimate object, but to Emma, it was her lifeline. In her darkest hour, Emma had only one ally, her smartphone. Could you imagine a smartphone being a beacon of hope? For Emma, a simple device became her lifeline, her silent shout for help. This young, vivacious girl with a smile that could light up a room found herself trapped in a world of pain and fear. The only outlet she had, the only way she could cry out, was through the lens of her smartphone. Emma began to take selfies, a common enough activity for a teenager. But these were not your typical duck-face, carefree snapshots. These were a silent plea, a cry for help hidden in the pixels of the seemingly normal photographs. She used the lens of her smartphone to capture her reality, the bruises that decorated her skin, the fear that lived in her eyes. In the background of these seemingly innocent snapshots, a sinister truth lurked. Each photo told a story of abuse, of a stepfather's cruel hands and harsh words. But these subtle signs of suffering were masked by her smile, a smile that was as much a shield as it was a mask, a smile that hid her pain from the world. She posted these photos on social media, a breadcrumb trail of distress signals, but she was careful. Oh, so careful. She knew the danger of her stepfather discovering her silent rebellion, so she hid her cries for help in plain sight behind filters and captions that spoke of happier times. Her posts became a diary of her suffering, a timeline of pain and resilience. Each photo was a testament to her strength, her will to survive, her hope for a better tomorrow, and yet, they were also a stark reminder of her reality, of the abuse she endured at the hands of someone who was supposed to protect her. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Each selfie was a beacon of hope, a silent plea for anyone to notice her suffering, to see behind her mask, to hear her silent cries. And then one day, someone finally noticed. What if a simple click could save a life? And that's exactly what happened. Emma's friend, a beacon of concern, noticed something amiss in the series of selfies Emma had been posting. There was a haunting sadness in her eyes, a quiet plea for help that was impossible to ignore. Unable to shake off the gnawing worry, she decided to alert the authorities. When the police arrived at Emma's home, they were met with a scene that no one could have anticipated. The stepfather, a man who was supposed to protect and care for Emma, was instead the architect of her suffering. The truth of his abuse was a shock that reverberated through the community, a chilling reminder of the unseen dangers that may lurk behind the most ordinary of facades. As the law took its course, the community rallied around Emma. The court proceedings were a whirlwind, a blur of legal jargon and grim testimonies. But through it all, one thing was clear: Emma's stepfather was guilty. The evidence was undeniable, the selfies serving as silent witnesses to the horrors Emma had endured. The stepfather's conviction was a victory, not just for Emma, but for every child who has ever suffered in silence. It was a beacon of hope, a testament to the power of speaking out, even if the words are unspoken. Emma's selfies had become more than just pictures. They were a cry for help, a beacon that guided her to safety. But the story doesn't end there. Emma's courage, her resilience, became an inspiration. Her story echoed through social media, igniting conversations about child abuse, about the importance of paying attention to the signs, about the power of a single click to change a life. In the end, it was a simple selfie that saved Emma, a candid snapshot that captured not just her face, but her silent plea for help, a plea that was heard, that was acted upon, that brought her the rescue she so desperately needed. Emma's selfies had done what her words could not. They had brought her help. Every picture tells a story, but Emma's selfies screamed a plea for help. In the aftermath of such a turbulent period, Emma's life started to take on a new rhythm. Far removed from the shadowy presence of her abusive stepfather, she found herself in a secure environment with the chance to heal and grow. It was a journey of recovery, undeniably hard, but she was no longer alone. She began attending therapy sessions, a space for her to voice her fears, her pain, and slowly, her hopes. With each passing day, the dark cloud seemed a little less ominous, the world a little less threatening. Emma's story also sparked an unexpected ripple effect, reaching corners far beyond her own world. Her selfies, once a silent cry for help, became a beacon of hope for others in similar situations, illuminating the power of social media as a tool for good. It highlighted the potential we all have in our hands, through our screens, to help those in need. But Emma's story also served as a stark reminder of the importance of vigilance. It was a call to action for all of us to pay more attention to the signs of abuse, to not disregard them as mere figments of our imagination. It was a plea to look beyond the surface, to see the person behind the picture, the story behind the smile. Today, Emma's life is a testament to resilience and bravery. She is a survivor, a warrior, and an advocate for change. Her journey has not been easy, but her spirit remains unbroken. Her selfies are no longer silent cries for help, but bold statements of survival, resilience, and hope. In the end, it's not just about the pictures we take, but the stories they tell, the lives they touch, and the change they can inspire. Emma's story is a testament to that. It's a reminder that sometimes the most powerful tool we have is right there, in our hands, waiting to be used. In the end, a selfie did more than capture a moment. It saved a girl's life.